Well, welcome everybody to the very first episode one of the Scruggs show. So the podcast, we're doing it over here with our friends at Let It Fly Media. I'm so grateful for them to provide this platform and this setting. And if anybody else wants to do a podcast like me, you should come on over to Let It Fly Media. Today, we have a few things to talk about. We're going to talk about the quarantine, talk about what we've been doing over quarantine, how we've been adjusting, talking about opening back up, new plans. I have my friend DeAna Carter on the phone. I'm excited to have her. She and I have been best friends since we were probably 14. So we have a lot of history. We're still very much involved in each other's lives. And then we're going to talk about something a little bit more serious, police brutality and the things that have been going on lately in the news. So DeAna, hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming on my very first show in the middle of the day.
I'm so excited. I know.
So, how did you feel when the quarantine first happened?
I was a little nervous because I've never been through a quarantine. I don't know what it means to be quarantined. And then for me, I wouldn't say life has changed drastically. I have been one of the fortunate ones to be able to continue to work during this quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
So my day-to-day schedule is pretty much the same, aside from outside activities that I would normally do.
Right. Well, I would say with me, the biggest thing that I went through was I wasn't going to court every single day, all day. So I was so used to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually love it, the adjustment to not having to do that. And then we have court over WebEx, and it's several other different technical formats. Now, I will say that I've had some issues because the legal profession is one of the main ones that are it's archaic, meaning there's not a lot of technology. There's not a lot of forward thinking. And none of the courts in Missouri, because that's where I practice, none of the courts in Missouri really were equipped to switch, to virtual. And I feel like we already should have had that capability. And all the municipal cases were just literally taken away, no municipal cases, period. We haven't had a municipal court since the early March. And we're probably not going to have it until August and probably later than that. Now,
wow.
Yes. Now, the circuit courts.
So I guess with the municipal courts and things like that, how are these people handling their cases?
They're not handling it. That's what I'm saying. They're pushing everything. And one of the things that is going on is some of the prosecutors are hey, can we settle this before court? Because we don't want the courts to have, super, super big dockets. And to be honest, because I'm a prison abolitionist, I think that honestly, the municipal court should just dismiss all the cases because right now, it's going to be impossible to schedule every single case that was scheduled in 1 month. It's literally we're going to be in court for 24 hours in one day. And it's just simple infractions like speeding, not having insurance, different things like that. And the city, I'm in Kansas City, and the city is, funded off of that. And I just feel like if the city really cares about its citizens and wants to help them, they're saying, oh, we care about jobs, we care about this. Well, eliminate all of these, just dismiss every case that is in the municipal court, and let's start over after the pandemic, because it's a global pandemic. And I consider it the same as if there was a big devastation with a tornado, or if there was a big devastation with an earthquake or a hurricane. Why are we continually, pushing this? And as far as circuit courts, we have been doing, like I said, online courts, and it's been a lot of technical issues. A lot of attorneys haven't been able to log on. It's just been crazy. So my job has changed drastically. My home life has changed drastically. My kitten, Batman, is annoyed that we're at home all the time. And he is over it. He's like, can y'all go? Sis, did you get fired? I thought you owned your own firm. But now he's used to it. Now he loves it. But one of the big things that I like about quarantine, not the pandemic, but quarantine, is it gave me time to think and really, really say what is really holding me back from what I really want to do. What do you think? What do you think mentally or has your mentality changed since the quarantine?
I would definitely say so. I think that anybody coming out of this quarantine will have a different perspective on life, right? You've had some time to kind of just sit with where you are in life, right? Because all of the outside distractions have been turned off. When you talk about being able to, go down the street to a bar, a restaurant, or a club, or somewhere to kind of just distract you from doing some of the things that you said you wanted to do, about thinking about some of the things that you did or you want to do. It's the distractions are very limited. Now, of course, social media still exists, and you can spend hours on that too. But eventually, you scroll through your timeline and you see the same thing over and over again, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you start to say, okay, it's only so much Netflix you can watch. There's only so much, like I said, social media. It's only so much that you can do to continue to distract yourself. And so it then forces you to say, okay, well, what else can I do? What else do I like? Right? So, this time I've been doing a lot of audiobooks. Just using that time to start learning. I have started to take classes to get my real estate license.
Woo, woo.
I know, I'm so excited. It's definitely taking longer than I anticipated, but I'm still pushing for it, still going for it. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while.
Well, do you think that you would have taken the real estate class if the pandemic didn't happen? Because didn't you already sign up? Or are you just saying you got energized?
I signed up right around when the quarantine happened. Literally, like during that same maybe first week or two of quarantine, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go for it. Why not? And I didn't know what this pandemic was going to do to the state of real estate. Now, I've always loved real estate. I mean, growing up, my mom was a realtor. My dad owned.
Yes, shout out to Miss Carter.
I know. My dad owned investment properties. So growing up, it wasn't like real estate wasn't, in my upbringing. My uncle owns properties. My cousin does flips. So real estate has always been kind of instilled in me, and so I've always been interested in it. For the last couple of years, I've been studying and learning about investing and things like that. And I think that for me to switch careers, I need something a little bit more career-like until I'm ready to be a full-on entrepreneur. I think that, we are in this day and age where everybody's saying, build your own business, be an entrepreneur, but they don't realize what all comes with being an entrepreneur. It's easy to say something on the internet, and it's another thing to be it in real life.
Oh, yeah. People just talk. Definitely. I feel the same way. Obviously, I've had dreams and goals and different things, and I've been able to do them. But a lot of people don't know, because the dreams, so once you hit a goal and once you hit one of your dreams, now you have a new one. And the new goals and the new dreams and the big ideas that I've had, while I have taken steps to make them happen, I was not consistent enough to make them happen. And I don't think I had the dedication. To be honest, I've been spending so much time on my law firm, so much time on planning media, different things, meeting individuals from Let It Fly Media, Billy. Shout out to Billy. But he was helping me with something for another project, and then he suggested that I come and do this. And honestly, I've been wanting to do a podcast or do something ongoing weekly for so long, but I haven't been able to do it. But I mean, I've started and stopped and started and stopped. But
I know. Being your friend for as long as I have, I've seen you literally blossom in these last couple months. So
the quarantine pushed me to really say, what is holding you back, Natasha, Monique? And a big shift that I've made is I have coaches for multiple things now. Before, so my law firm's 2 years old this month, and I was going at it solo dolo, and I thought, I'm smart, I'm a lawyer, it's lit.
Yep. like most entrepreneurs, they say, "Oh, I can do it." You think entrepreneur, you think, like you said, solo.
Solo, exactly. And but at the same time, as you know as well, I have invested into different things, different companies to try to help me, but I haven't found really that groove. And what I think I did was, over the quarantine, I sit and think about all the excuses that I've made, all the threats to my goal, all the things that I need help on. And I realize that I don't have to be perfect to accomplish these things, and I don't have to be proficient in every single area. I just need to know exactly what my weaknesses are and fill those gaps. So because of that, I was able to get a coach in every area of my life, and that's really been the big change, like monumental. Like my social media is up, my engagement is up on my website. I have a new project that I just put out, a virtual top shelf virtual, where I'm doing educational programs. And to be honest, I've always wanted to do this. Well, right now I have on my Future Lawyers Camp shirt from like 2018. As you know, I've done the Future Lawyers Camp for 4 years.
Teaching is not new for all those who are listening. She's been doing this. She's been teaching. This has been her path for a long time.
My biggest thing was I was unable to scale. So everything is virtual now. So it's no reason for me to not reach people all over the world with the stuff that I'm teaching. When I was doing my Future Lawyers Camp, I had to limit it because, number one, I had to clear my caseload for a week. I had to go and dedicate a week, which is I love it. I mean, I'm going to do it next summer. This summer, obviously, it's not happening. But I still like doing that. But I thought, what if I can offer this, the teachings and the knowledge that I have, that I am an expert in, to people from all walks of life in all areas. Right. So that's why I started that.
And I want to correct you, because it technically is happening this summer. You're doing it virtually.
Yeah, but the physical one, I like being around the kids. The kids are so smart. Like when I did the Future Lawyers Camp, they can literally learn a case from start to finish. They can draft arguments, and they can cross-examine. I mean, they're just, I love seeing the minds of kids, and I think that there's a very big gap between what we're teaching them in schools and what is reality. And I don't think that people are really honing in on their skills. And that's another thing when I say coaching. If we really cultivated the young minds, then everything would be different. And so when I created the Future Lawyers Camp, I thought what I wanted in middle school, what I wanted in high school. I knew I was going to be a lawyer at age 5, so I would have benefited from something like that. There was none available. And then when I created the Law Lab for the new Top Shelf virtual company, I created what would I want in high school, what would I want in college, and what I wanted in law school, and what I wanted after law school. So there's several tiers to that. And so tonight, I'm actually doing a webinar for that. Obviously, you guys are going to see this after, but the webinar, when I dropped the information, I got an overwhelming amount of people saying, oh my God, I've been looking for something like this. I couldn't wait. I've always wanted to be a lawyer. I never knew. And I went through that, and I had to really, scour the internet and just research and go to the library. And I did that because, number one, I'm a nerd. So I like to research everything, and I just want to know everything about everything. Number two, my grandpa kind of instilled that in me because, like DeAna, he did go to law school for 1 year. He was unable to finish for a lot of different reasons, not because of not because of the difficulty level. And my grandpa, when he was in college, before he had his master's degree, he was selling encyclopedias door to door. And when he was doing that, he actually experienced some racism when he was doing that, and he only did it for a day. Ain't that funny? Like, he thought that he was going to make all this money, but the first day he went to somebody's door and he said that somebody in the neighborhood said there's an N-word in the neighborhood, and get a rope. This is in like 1960. Like, I don't even know when this was. Probably like 1965 or something. And they said and he was in Illinois. And they told him, they said, get a rope. And then the person's house that he was at said, no, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to make sure that, nothing happens to you. And that was my grandpa's last day on that job. However, because he took that job, he was able to get an extensive record of encyclopedias. And these encyclopedias were in the home that I grew up in. And so my grandpa always said, anytime we asked him a question, he would never let us just ask him a question. He would say, "Did you look it up?" And I would say, "No." And he would say, "Well, go look it up. Go to the
Right.
encyclopedia and look it up." And I'm like, "Oh my God."
So do you think that kids and people in general this day and age, because it's funny, I told you I was reading audiobooks, and one of the books I'm reading is literally it's called Deep Work. And it's about critical thinking,
Yes.
about removing distractions and focusing in on whatever task, whatever question, whatever problem you're solving. So do you think that was the foundation of you being able to think critically and to go and search for things for yourself
Yes.
to find your own answers?
Yes, because that's, like I said, my grandpa, that's exactly what he does. He still does that to this day. If I call him and ask him a question, he's not going to send me a one sentence answer. He's going to send me an extensive answer. He's going to send me pictures. He's going to send me links. That's how he taught my mother and her siblings, and that's how he taught us. And because my mom had me at 18 and she was the oldest, I grew up with her siblings as if they were mine, and so all of us kind of grew up the same way. And my uncles who act just like my grandpa, they really taught me to question everything. They said question everything. Like, they wouldn't even let us watch Pocahontas. Like, if we watch a Disney show, they like, "Tasha, why they put that in there? Why did they put that in the thing? That doesn't look right. Wait, wasn't that they were oppressing the Native Americans? They weren't buddies." And I'm like, "Oh, can I just watch Pocahontas?" but now I'm the same way. I'm the friend that's like, "Look at that. That's propaganda." And they're like, I'm just watching a show, Natasha.
Right.
This isn't educational. So that's exact. I mean, I definitely think that that's why I'm like that. I know that that's why I'm like that. And I know that I know a lot. I have like a lot of like random knowledge because I've been reading encyclopedias and dictionaries and books. Like my mom, yeah, my mom like used to go to the library and give me a big box. Excuse me. And I used to fill the box with books, read every single book, and be like, "Mommy, please." So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm that type of nerd. So with the Law Lab, they're going to get all the nerdy knowledge that I have obtained, including coaching. They're going to get, we're going to get experts in every single sector of becoming an attorney to come in. I mean, it's just an amazing opportunity for anybody. And then the other program, the one that you signed up for, my Level Up program, it's similar to what I'm talking about, because it's like there are things that are going on in your life that you can control, and there's things that you can't control. The things that you can control, you need to get coaching to become better at it. And you need to like hone in on your skills that are good, and the things that you're not good at, you need to get help.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited to help business owners and people who want to go back to school and people who've been through things and just everything. I'm just very, very excited to be a part of that.
So talk to me a little bit about what, like you went through, because I know you, like I said, these programs are going to be amazing. And let me be clear on this for all the people who are listening. When I support my friends and family, especially as Black businesses, we tend to look for the discount. We tend to look for the easy way, right? And so when she says, "Oh, I signed up for your Level Up program," do understand that I'm paying customer just like anybody else who is going to be attending, her Level Up program, because if ever there was a reason to invest my money in something or someone, it's someone that I already know and I truly believe in, right? And I think that when you start talking about, your Level Up program and the things that you've been through, right? Yeah. They're going to be able to fully get to know you and the experience that you're going through and you went through, because leveling up isn't just okay, I made it here and I'm good, right? It's I'm here and I want to keep going forward, because life is about growth, right? And in this program, she's going to be teaching you how, once you reach that goal, that doesn't mean that you have to say, okay, I reached my goal and I'll see you later. Because guess what? You're going to want more eventually. You're going to have that desire for more eventually. And this program is going to teach you how to keep going, how to keep pushing forward. It's going to give you that guidance. And I think that your background and everything that you've been through is a testament to that.
Yeah, the Level Up program is so much deeper than just obtaining physical things or hitting certain notches or crossing off something on your list. You have to mentally, emotionally, physically level up. You have to level up in all areas, and that's why we address that in that program. And a lot of people right now want to level up, and they want to feel better because today, especially today, people are kind of upset on the internet. People are upset throughout the world because in the last, I would say, week, there's been like a bunch of issues going on with police brutality, and there's been like people just feel helpless and they don't feel like life is worth living. I've been seeing a range of emotions from everybody, and I think that this is the perfect time for that. Speaking of police brutality, one of my uncles that I was talking about, I had two uncles that I grew up with, was actually killed by the police in 2008, and I was 17, he was 29, which I'm 29 now. Obviously, that shaped a lot of things that I did moving forward in my legal career, and also pushed me to move forward. Now, the issues that we had in that case, and I did the same nerdy thing that I do in my regular life. As a 17-year-old, I went online. I went to the library. I started studying, and what I noticed was that a lot of the police brutality cases, the issues are, number one, obviously the police in and of itself, the institution of police has issues, and a lot of people argue that it should be abolished. But even if the police department wasn't abolished, and even if the police institution was still here, they have put in place certain policies and procedures that are not followed in these police brutality cases. And I want to know, what are your thoughts about that? Like, what are your thoughts about if there is a policy on, like with my uncle, he was tasered, and there's a policy on how long you can taser somebody, and they tased him 10 times that amount. What and with Breonna Taylor, they came in. I think that was that Minnesota? No, that was that Minnesota? I can't even remember what city that was or what state, but they came.
I think that was in Minnesota.
Yeah, but I know that they came into her home because they said that her home was someone else's home, which the people who they were actually trying to arrest had already been arrested. So the policies and procedures are, when there's a warrant out, there's certain, funnels that the information has to go to make sure that everybody knows, okay, we just arrested these people.
Right.
Then whoever dispatched them and called them to the wrong home, the wrong address, you see what I'm saying? That's a broken policy. Then when they came into the home, they busted in, and then they started shooting. I think they shot, I think it was 20 times for her. But it was a lot of times. Basically, they shot her, and her boyfriend Kenneth Walker actually shot at them multiple times. Didn't kill them, but they arrested him for attempted murder and something else. But so that's that. Those are a lot of policies and procedures that were broken in that, and also excessive force. And with Ahmaud Arbery, obviously that wasn't police, but it looked like the police tried to cover that up and not release certain things. And then the one that everybody's talking about today, George Floyd, where the officer had his foot on his neck. I definitely looked those up today. Looked up that department's policies and procedures because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't tripping, because I'm like, I know that you're not supposed to do that. I know it's wrong, but I want to point out, I want to tell you exactly where you had me messed up at, okay? So I'm looking at, I'm like, he used a restraint technique that was not a part of the training, that was not allowed in the training. He left it on there long. So what is your thoughts just generally about this?
So I'm gonna do it from two different sides.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it from my career side, and I'll do it from my personal
Okay.
opinion.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and say your credentials, baby girl, because people might not know. What's your credentials, honey? What's your career side?
So I have my degree in mechanical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
I am an operations manager for a Fortune 500 company.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I've
say
been
that.
working there.
Hold on. How many people do you How many people are under you, honey?
Okay, so on any given day, I am managing anywhere between 75 to 100 employees.
So you know about these policies and procedures.
Yes.
Okay.
So, from the career side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever one of my team members they don't follow policy, they don't follow procedure, there are consequences that are already lined up. So anytime that I hold anybody accountable for doing anything, I always refer to the policy and procedures handbook. There is a direct correlation between what you did or did not do properly and why I'm holding you accountable.
Okay.
Right? And so just so they have a clear understanding, because when the team members come in, everybody goes through an onboarding, right?
Yes.
Every job you go to, you have a training, you have an onboarding, you got an HR portion where they give you a handbook, they tell you the policies, they tell you the requirements of your job, they tell you what your responsibilities are and what you should do, they tell you how much you make to do it, and you sign on the dotted line and you say, I agree to these terms, right? So, being that you agree to these terms, when you do not follow these things, there are consequences, just like anything in life. There are consequences to these actions or inactions, right?
Right.
And I feel like in these instances where there was blatant misconduct, right? Neglect of job duties, and policies and procedures not followed, there should definitely be accountability. Now, when I hold people accountable to the extent of sending them home because they are no longer able to be here, they do not get paid for that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now I know that
not paid leave.
I know that everybody has their own. Every job has their own policies and procedure handbook. But where I come from, if you can't do your job and you at home because you can't do your job, you don't get paid for that. So, in my personal opinion, now we're going into my personal opinion. These officers of the law who are in uniform to protect and to serve the community that they are in, when they are not doing at bare minimum protecting and serving, you should not be getting paid.
Right.
So when there's a question of misconduct, when there's an investigation happening, you should not be getting paid. So if they come back and say, well, based off of these facts or based off of this investigation, you were deemed, we're not holding you accountable for it. We can then go back and say we will back pay you. But while you're investigating,
you don't just get paid.
You don't just get paid.
Right.
You don't just get to go on vacation. Let's be clear on this. This is vacation. You're at home.
It is vacation.
You are not doing your job. You're not doing anything to be paid for. You should not be getting paid because your conduct is in question. Just like when they hold people in jail, they don't get their freedom because their innocence is in question.
It's the same thing. And I'm glad you breaking that down, DeAna, because I feel like a lot of people think that, even though I don't really care about people's opinions in that, but a lot of people don't understand that when we break down the police brutality stuff, we're critically looking at everything. We're not just saying, oh, bad guy. We're literally outlining everything that they did wrong and what the error was and how the error is ongoing and how there's zero accountability. And like you said, it's a slap in the face to have them on, paid leave, or sometimes they do get terminated, after the fact. Right. I think I want to have this discussion next time when we come in, because right now, I will say, just to sum it up, Kenneth Walker, which is Breonna's boyfriend, all his charges were dropped, thankfully, but he shouldn't have even gotten charged with that. The two men with the Ahmaud Arbery situation, and if you guys don't know, look it up, but basically a black man was curious about a home that is in the process of being built, and he just went inside, looked at it, and left. And the homeowner said that he saw him on the camera. He didn't even, he didn't. A lot of people thought that the homeowner called the police or called those guys to do that, and he said, "I would never do that. I don't even know them." So it was some random guys outside. They saw him. I think they called the police. They chased him down. They shot him and killed him 2 times in the chest, 1 time in the wrist, on camera. And then the latest one, we just talked about that. I just think that, and then with the guys who shot and killed Ahmaud, the police department violated a lot of policies and procedures in investigating that. And obviously they weren't arrested. They weren't charged anything. So I think next time I want to go deeper into kind of the facts of the case and what I think, and also what you think, and what we think could happen, how we could, impact the change in this. Obviously, we're from St. Louis. I just said my family was a victim of this, and we're very familiar. And right now, there are quote unquote riots going on after George Floyd's situation. People are upset. People are angry, and people have a right to be angry. It's not normal. So, thank you for coming on, because this is your off day, so you don't have to work. But I really appreciate you coming on, talking to me, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you so much for having me. I truly enjoyed it.
Well, have a good day, Dee Dee.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.